What's going on, guys? It has been, I think, over at least 6 months since we made a video last, and I have just a little bit of time, and I was hoping to make a couple of videos here in the next couple of weeks. And so I wanted to take some time now and just kind of do a walk around of the truck. We really never did one when I first bought it, and it's been just a long time since we've actually talked about it in general. So I want to spend a few minutes to just go over it, what it is, and what we've done to it so far. So first things first, right, it is a 2017 Silverado 2500 HD with L5P in it, of course, crew cab short bed with the LTZ interior, and it is in almost perfect condition as far as the interior wise. Absolutely no complaints whatsoever. The only thing I've done there is put WeatherTechs in it, front and back, full coverage WeatherTechs. But other than that, it is completely stock inside. There is a CTS3 monitor in there, but overall, I have not really done a whole lot to the interior of the truck. And one of the first things that I'm sure that I will be asked is, yes, it is still emissions equipped. It is tuned, but it is emissions equipped. So I went ahead and did an Edge Evo HD2 tuning package on this truck. I did not go with full Duramax tuner or PPI or anything like that yet. Frankly, I did not want to spend $2,000 on tuning, so I did not go that route. At least I have not gone that route yet. However, I did swap out my TCM for a tuned TCM from D-Max Tuner, from Duramax Tuner, just to help with better shifting and with increased line pressure with the increased horsepower that it is running. I was not comfortable leaving this trans completely stock. I thought about doing the EPC Fooler. It just didn't quite seem like the right thing to do. Maybe it's fine, I don't know. I never ended up doing that. So I do enjoy the better shifting map that it does have from the pre-tuned TCM that D-Max Tuner provided. And it's been doing really, really well so far. And overall, I have really, really loved it. Like I said, I've had this truck for about a year. I've had the tuning on it for about 6 months or so, TCM tuning for about 2 months, and I've just really, really enjoyed it. So it's maybe a low 500s horsepower truck, you know, and it's definitely a heavier truck than my LB7 was. A lot of benefits to that, but it's obviously just a little bit slower as well. But overall, I really, really loved it. Within the Edge programming, I also have the ability to adjust the aggressiveness of the pedal, make it feel a little bit peppier at the same time. So I have that set about 20% higher than stock. And I really, really enjoy driving the truck. It has incredible street manners. It's extremely drivable. They are from factory as well, don't get me wrong. But it just woke it up quite a bit. And it's just an extremely pleasant truck to drive. And I thoroughly enjoy having it and driving it. All right, so enough of that, onto the exterior of the truck, right? So we do have a set of 20x10 hardcore wheels on this truck, wrapped in 33 by 12.5 all-terrain tires. It does very, very well. It does rub just a little bit in the back. There is absolutely no way, without just trimming the heck out of these trucks, that you're going to get that to fit, even just with a 33. If you want any kind of an offset at all, I'm sorry, that's going to rub. There's no way to get around it. You can tell me it doesn't rub, you're lying, right? There's no way to get around it until you go with an actual suspension kit and get it a little bit higher. So this one, I can go lock to lock. It will rub just slightly at full lock, but overall it is still extremely functional. I have full range of motion and all of that, so I'm pretty happy with it. Down here you can also see there is a set of Kryptonite upper control arms. I had these sent back up to Whirly's and had them powder coat them in bronze chrome, and that just helped quite a bit as far as having distance between my bump stop and the upper control arm versus about having a 1/2 inch or less with the stock factory or with the factory control arm. You can also see there's a set of remote reservoir Fox 2.0 shocks in here, as well as in the back. I just got the backs put on here actually in the last week or so, and they look really, really sharp. And overall, the truck does really, really well suspension-wise and just drivability-wise, right? So one thing, I had to have this truck be extremely functional, right? For farm use, for whatever else, I had to be able to turn, I had to be able to tow trailers, had to be able to do everything and keep it as functional as possible and just try to make it look nice at the same time. And I feel like I've done as good of a job as I possibly could. I would love to have wider wheels. I would love to do whatever. You just can't turn with them. And so that is my only kind of drawback of why I did not go any wider than I did today. I would love to go to at least a 12 wide at some point. I just think they look phenomenal. But overall, I do like the look of the 20x10, and they let me keep the functionality and the usability and the full turning capabilities of the truck as much as possible, and still just kind of glamorizing it just a little bit. So you can also see in here, I went ahead and took off my gooseneck side plates as well as the bumper hitch of the truck and had them both powder coated. That is actually not bronze chrome. It's very similar to it, but it is actually called Super Root Beer through prismatic powders. I turn this light off. It just kind of has a little bit more of a rich color, especially in the sun, than the bronze chrome does. It's very, very similar, but I figured if they're going to be a little bit more exposed, they should kind of shine up just a little bit more. So figured might as well, while I'm putting on a brand new gooseneck and all that, you might as well make it look nice at the same time. Now onto the lighting. Obviously these are all still the stock headlights and the stock fog lights. Everything has been switched out to LEDs, of course. But other than that, they're completely stock. The back is still completely stock for now. I really do not like the red on the back here. I would really prefer that to be color matched. I have not found a color matched option that I love yet. I have been looking for quite a while, so if anybody has a suggestion, I would be very interested to hear it, but I would love for those to be color matched. I don't mind the chrome on the front. I would like to get rid of the orange reflectors, of course, but more than anything, I just really don't like the red on the taillights or on the third brake light there. So I'm still looking for options. Fast headlights might be the best option that I've found so far. So we'll see where we get to in the future with that. The only thing that I've actually done as far as lighting is to replace my mirror lights with Boost Auto Parts sequential switchback and smoked versions, as well as their steps. I swapped out to their M1 steps here, and I went ahead and upgraded those to sequential switchbacks as well. So those will go together, as you can see. And obviously those flash amber with the turn signals as well, and with your hazards and all that. And so I really like it overall. Once again, I really don't like the amber there in the running light, so we need to get those updated at some point. But I really do like the steps. I was looking at amp steps with the emission system still on. You cannot get their complete hideaway version, and I did not want to spend that amount of money to have steps that you could still see on the side of the truck. And so I went ahead and went with these ones. I do really like them. Kick those back on here for just a second. One thing that I would like to do is, with that light along the side, without having rock lights in there with it, I feel like it looks just a little bit out of place. And so we'll see. We might do that here in the future. I've never been the guy to do rock lights. I've never done any of that kind of stuff before. Not obviously that I can't, I just never have. It's never been my thing. But we'll see. I might do it. And that is pretty much it so far, right? So basically it has been tuned. It has TCM tuning, wheels and tires, shocks, leveling kit, upper control arms, a little bit of powder coating, that kind of stuff, lights, steps, all of that. But that is it so far. And essentially one of the main things that is missing is I have not touched this truck under the hood whatsoever. Like literally not a single thing besides, I believe, a MAF spacer, right? And so that is kind of a whole spectrum that I have not even gotten into with this truck yet. Frankly, I've just been using it and driving it so far. I will say that I have really been missing sled pulling, especially as it is starting to spool up here in the Midwest. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna go take this truck out sled pulling this year. That is not my plan. We'll see what happens. No, I'm kidding. I'm not actually planning to do that, but I would love to kind of get into this whole side of L5P performance. First of all, these are fantastic running trucks as they are, but even so, there's just so much you can do. There's so much you can do just to beautify that engine bay that I have not even began to touch yet. And so I'm really excited to be able to kind of get into that in the future. But guys, yeah, that is it so far. Stay tuned. We will have a few videos coming here in the next couple of weeks, and I'm excited to be back into this a little bit. So we'll see you soon.